Connecting the SWAC, the MEAC, SIAC, and the CIAA. The HBCU experience lives here. It's the HBCU Report with Bob Calloway.
We are back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the HBCU Report with me, Rob Calloway, and we are being heard via Spreaker.com. And in addition to Spreaker, we're also being heard via iTunes, TuneIn, and the Google Play Music app. Now, here's the thing about the Google Play Music app is that it's only for Android users. You can download it if you have iTunes or an Apple phone, but you cannot get the HBCU Report on the Google Play Music app. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry about that. I downloaded it to my phone as well and could not find it. And then I had to do a little research and, reading is fundamental, as they say. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HBCU Report. This show is powered by sportsnewsandbrews.com, your official source for sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to sportsnewsandbrews.com right now. And, hope everyone had a great week. Since the last time we were on the air, several things have transpired. Let me grab my little news and notes. Several things have transpired. Number one, right here in the city of Atlanta, we laid the rapper known as Shawty Lo. We laid Shawty Lo to rest last Saturday afternoon, shortly after we completed this show right here. And it was a show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was a show. See, Saturday, when we were on the air, I had no idea that Friday night, following Shawty Lo's wake at Mount Carmel Baptist Church, that they took Shawty Lo to the Blue Flame, which is a strip club here in Atlanta. That was actually where he was leaving from the day that he died. But they took him over to the Blue Flame for a little bit. Now, they didn't pull him out and sit him up in a chair or anything like that. But, yeah, it was just kind of wild. Also, this Hurricane Matthew thing, playing tricks on everybody. Well, not tricks, but playing a terrible joke on everyone, a terrible game with everyone. So we pray for everyone that's been affected by Hurricane Matthew, everyone that's in the path of the hurricane up the East Coast. Several games have been rescheduled as a result of Hurricane Matthew. You had South Carolina State and Bethune-Cookman, who were supposed to be in action today, as well as Morgan State and Savannah State. And both of those games have been moved to November 26th. And so they'll share that date with the Bayou Classic, because that is the same date as the SWAC's Bayou Classic, Grambling and Southern over in New Orleans. And so this hurricane, it actually affected Georgia and South Carolina and the SEC. They're actually going to play tomorrow at 2:30. And so, again, I hope that everyone in our listening audience as well, and just hunker down. If it's coming towards you, I think it's a category 2 at this point. But if it's coming towards you, just listen to the news and do what they tell you to do. Plain and simple. That's how you handle that. All right. Thursday night, got our first taste of HBCU football for the week. North Carolina A&T took on Norfolk State. It was a 35-0 shutout on behalf of the reigning HBCU national football champion, North Carolina A&T Aggies. But in the process, Tariq Cohen, oops, he did it again. Another 200-yard game. But this one right here was for all the marbles, baby. Tariq Cohen became the all-time MEAC rushing leader in Thursday night's 35-0 victory over Norfolk State. So big shouts out to Tariq Cohen. I talk about this dude every freaking week because he is worthy. Hallelujah. He is worthy of being mentioned, because this dude is going to, I keep talking about these next level players. He's going to be it. Now, a lot of folks like to look at Isaiah Crowell because he came from Bama State, but, the majority consider him to be a UGA running back because that's where he got started, was at Georgia. So I don't even really consider Isaiah Crowell, even though he's tearing it up in the NFL right now. But this guy, Tariq Cohen, who's played his entire career at North Carolina A&T, man, he's special. He's really special. And, hopefully we can work something out with Coach Broadway where we can have this young man on the air because, again, he is the highlight of HBCU sports this year, HBCU football. And I respect the heck out of the guy. And speaking of North Carolina A&T, something is going on over there Tuesday. If you haven't heard, it's a little event going on Tuesday on the campus of North Carolina A&T with some guy named Barack Hussein Obama. Who is that? Never heard of that guy before. All right. President Obama is going to be on hand at North Carolina A&T Tuesday. This is going to be aired on national television at 10 o'clock. It's Conversation with the President, Sports, Race, and Achievement. And I'm kind of interested to hear what type of things President Obama is going to talk about in this. You know, I salute him for, taking this over to an HBCU. And I think it's going to be really good. I hate that they moved it to 10 o'clock at night because a lot of folks have to get up in the morning. You know, I don't know. If it was me, I would have put it on in prime time. But, of course, I am the host of the HBCU Report. I am one of the hugest advocates for HBCU. So, naturally, I would put it on in prime time. But to have the president, and it's actually going to be recorded earlier. So, it's not like it's live at 10 o'clock. But, again, the president, great man, great man. On his way out of the White House. And I'm just kind of interested in hearing the kind of things that he's going to talk about. Is he going to talk about Colin Kaepernick? Which I think he should. I mean, this is a conversation about sports and race. Is he going to talk about the achievements of the North Carolina A&T Aggies and Coach Rod Broadway and Tariq Cohen? I'm just kind of interested, and I'll be tuned in. And so we're going to be tweeting about it from today up until Tuesday, reminding you guys to make sure that you check it out, okay? All right, so coming up in today's show, we have a couple of coaches that are really, really high on the radar, high on my radar anyway. Willie Simmons, the head football coach of the Prairie View-A&M Panthers, is homecoming there. We're going to chop it up with him coming up in just a little bit, and they'll be taking on Alabama State today. And so, I had to go to my boy Brian Jenkins, the head coach of the Alabama State University Hornets. And so we're going to chat with those guys and, just talk some HBCU football, man. It's a great time. We're like right here at the halfway point. We're about 3 weeks away from the Magic City Classic. And you know what? I have a new brand for the the largest HBCU Classic, the Magic City Classic, because, you have all of these other slogans. So I think for the Magic City Classic, it should just simply be America's greatest football classic. Period. Patent pending. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HBCU Report. And you can also hear us in addition to Spreaker. We can be heard on iTunes, TuneIn, and Google Play Music for you Androiders out there. And coming up next, we will talk with Brian Jenkins, the head football coach of the Alabama State University Hornets. This is the HBCU Report, and we are powered by sportsnewsandbrews.com, the latest, or your official source, rather, for sports news, black news, political news, and all your favorite craft beers. Log on to sportsnewsandbrews.com right now, and we will be right back with Brian Jenkins right here on the HBCU Report.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Follow the HBCU Report on Twitter. Become a fan on Facebook at HBCU Report. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report being heard via Spreaker.com. In addition to Spreaker, we are also available via iTunes, TuneIn, and Google Play Music. Now, here's the trick about the Google Play Music, is that the HBCU Report is available via Google Play Music for Android. The Google Play Music app is not really for iTunes or iPhone. So if you're an Android phone or Android user, you can check us out via Google Play Music. We are powered by sportsnewsandbrews.com, your official source for sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to sportsnewsandbrews.com right now. And it was on this week in 1872 that Booker T. Washington enrolled at Hampton Institute. A few years later, he will be recommended by the president of Hampton Institute to become the president of what? Tuskegee Institute, what is now known as Tuskegee University, and the rest is history. This guy was definitely a proponent for education, and Tuskegee is basically a reflection of the life that Booker T. Washington lived. Straight up. And, of course, we all know that Booker T. Washington brought in George Washington Carver, and we got peanut butter, and we got, peanut sauce, and we got we just got peanuts. All right, man. So coming up today, 2:00, it is homecoming on the campus of Prairie View A&M, and they will be taking on the one, the only, the Alabama State University Hornets. My, oh my, it is a great time to be a Hornet. Of course, you're talking to the number one Hornet right now. But we're going to talk to another young man that knows a lot about Alabama State Hornet football, none other than second-year head coach Brian Jenkins, joining us right here on the show. First of all, Coach, welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach. So after last week's victory, the Hornets are now 1-4 on the season. Talk to our listening audience about the week-to-week progression of this team as we get ready for this week's matchup versus Prairie View.
Well, I mean, we're steadily seeing this team grow. We're a young football team. I tried to mask it, from the beginning of the season, but I think it showed up, on its own. But this team is steadily growing. And the one thing I've been pleased with and impressed with my players is that they're showing perseverance, and endurance. And that's a good thing to see in young people, and they understand the situation that we're in. They have a positive attitude, and that's hard to have when you've had the adversity that we've been met with this season. But nevertheless, they're still encouraged and not discouraged. And they showed that this past Saturday by going out and staying the course and being able to secure and come away with a victory.
All right, so last week you slowed down the SWAC's top passer, Brandon Duncan of Arkansas Pine Bluff. He still got his yardage around 300 yards or so, but you kept him out of the end zone. So how good was it to see your defense step up and force so many quarterback pressures? I think they ended up getting about, 5 or 6 sacks. How good was it to see your defense step up?
Well, I give them a lot of credit. I think our defensive staff did a wonderful job of having a game plan together that our young men could execute flawlessly. And, our young men understood the game plan and understood what we needed for them to do in order to, be effective. And the thing that was great and the reason why I think we were able to slow them down was we played effectively on a consistent basis. And then that was really good. And being able to put some pressure on him to where he couldn't set his feet or, to put him in a position where he had to rush decision-making was something that was really good. And we wanted to kind of, disrupt a little bit. And we were able to do it. So, my hat goes off to our defensive staff for, like I say, for putting the plan together. And, kudos to my players for being able to execute the plan that was put in place.
Following that crushing defeat, 64-6, loss to Southern, I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Dawson Odoms a couple days later, and I was asking him, Coach, take me through the game, explain to me what happened, because I didn't see the game. But I wanted to know from the Bama State side, what happened, and he was like, Rob, I just got to be honest with you. It was a good game plan from Bama State, but the kids just failed to come out and execute, and they just made mistake after mistake. The team drove down the field, fumbled, drove down the field, interception, drove down the field. So is that a good observation on Coach Dawson Odom's from his standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Odoms evaluated the game, correctly and honestly, and that doesn't take away from their performance. They lined up and they beat us. I mean, that's just bottom line. And that's what good teams do. They take advantage of their opponent's mistakes. But we made several mistakes, and he's right. We drove down the field on the first drive and fumbled, and then we came back and turned the ball over again on the second drive. And just several things happened that game that I've never experienced before,